Don't worry about what Gervonta is saying. Take all the PEDs that you want. If you are on steroids, take everything you need.
When the news broke that Jake Paul might have tested positive for steroids, the internet absolutely lost its mind. Social media went wild. Headlines popped up everywhere, and fans couldn't stop talking about it. But this wasn't just some random Twitter rumor. This story shook the boxing world to its core. For years, people have questioned whether Jake's insane power, chiseled physique, and rapid rise in the ring were 100% natural. Some said it was pure hard work. Others weren't so sure. And now, with reports claiming he's been caught, everyone suddenly has something to say, from fight analysts to former champions.
Do you think, Dr. Bletcher, do you think the reason why PEDs are so prominent is because they're still not testing for growth hormone quite yet?
Well, that's one, but there are many out there. I think the testing policies that are in place are really not designed to catch people yet.
That statement sent the internet into a frenzy. Everywhere you look, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, people were debating, arguing, and dissecting every word. Because if Jake really did test positive, this wouldn't just be a small slip-up or some misunderstanding. It would be the moment that confirms what so many fans, fighters, and critics have been whispering about for years. The doubts, the rumors, the side comments during interviews, all of it would suddenly make sense. For Jake Paul, this wouldn't just be a failed test. It would be a massive hit to his reputation, his brand, and everything he's worked to build inside and outside the ring. Interviews.
Jake Paul. Yes, I think Jake Paul is on steroids. He has a very good team around him, and I think he's cycling on.
Long before this story ever broke, Floyd Mayweather had already warned everyone that this day might come. Back when Jake Paul was stacking up wins against MMA icons like Anderson Silva and Nate Diaz, Floyd didn't mince his words. He said from the start that Jake was being overhyped, that fans were too quick to label him a boxing prodigy without asking the real questions, like how a YouTuber suddenly started overpowering and outlasting seasoned fighters who'd spent their entire lives in sport.
Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money.
Just look at the timeline. It tells a story on its own. When Jake Paul fought Tyron Woodley, fans immediately sensed that something didn't add up. Tyron, a former UFC champion known for his knockout power, landed clean shots on Jake. But Jake barely reacted. No stumble, no shake, nothing. It was almost like he was made of stone. His physique looked almost too perfect. Too sharp for someone who hadn't been in combat sports for long.
Now,
speaking of bumps,
went right over it.
Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarmed me. You wouldn't be happy to taking PEDs, are you?
Listen, if you want to build in excuses right now,
no, I'm just asking.
Go ahead.
Because I was just wondering. I looked at your face, it looked kind of serious. You had some rage and you acting all unorthodox. You know, those are signs of the PEDs.
I'm enraged. I'm not enraged at all.
Are you taking PEDs?
No, sir.
Not at all? Okay.
No, sir.
That's
Do you
what
think he's on PEDs?
I don't care. You can be on horse tranquilizer steroids. You can get a whole new body from Walmart. You're still getting slept.
Even Oscar de la Hoya couldn't stay silent about it. The golden boy himself stepped in and said what many insiders have been whispering for years. According to him, the reason Jake's steroid rumors never gained traction earlier wasn't because there was no truth to them. It was because Jake's team allegedly had enough money and influence to keep the story buried.
Back too, because the boxing media isn't reporting on anything these days. I wonder why. Has anybody else noticed this? Well, I actually did some digging and confirmed many members of the boxing media have been paid off by certain people and essentially muzzled. I mean, these are the facts.
And let's not forget Dana White, one of Jake Paul's loudest critics since the very beginning. Dana has never held back when it comes to calling Jake out. For years, he's questioned Jake's training his opponents, and especially his refusal to go through random drug testing. Time and time again, Dana has said that if Jake truly wants respect in combat sports, He needs to step up and prove he's clean.
Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me randomly for the next 5 years for cocaine if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that.
Jake never accepted that challenge. Instead, he did what he always does best, turned to social media. He laughed it off, cracked jokes, and tried to shift the spotlight with his usual mix of trolling and confidence. But now, with reports claiming he's tested positive, all those jokes don't seem so funny anymore.
Are you on performance-enhancing drugs?
If taking Viagra counts, then yes.
I'm gonna need a yes or a no.
No.
That's true.
Lucky you.
Even John Fury, the outspoken father of heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury, has been calling this out for years. Back when Jake Paul fought his son Tommy Fury, John didn't hold back his opinions. He made it crystal clear that he didn't trust Jake at all. According to him, Jake kept finding ways to avoid proper drug testing before the fight, always sidestepping questions whenever the topic came up.
The contract with Jake Paul, which had everything in it but the kitchen sink, but he refused point blank to sign up to the drug testing people's either. Now, to me, that's very naughty, because we're meant to be in a high-profile fight. What's going out, being all over the world.
And now that the steroid story has come to light, John Fury isn't even the slightest bit surprised. He's been saying this was coming all along. From day one, he pointed out that Jake's body transformation just didn't make sense, not in that short amount of time, and not without the kind of background or years of professional training that real fighters go through.
That's why I'm making this video. But can I say the same about Jake Paul? I don't know. People have got to make their own mind up. But in the press conference the other day, he wouldn't remove his glasses. Now, eyes are telltale to everything. You know, he's grown a big beard, which people who understand what I'm talking about know where I'm coming from. I don't know. Leave it to them to make their own mind up. But what we're doing here is trying to enlighten people in the world today that it is illegal to use his steroids, and that's what he's doing to gain an edge. Well, I feel sorry for him.
But what truly sent shockwaves through both the boxing and fitness worlds was when Bradley Martin, one of the most respected fitness influencers and bodybuilders on the planet, decided to speak up. Bradley didn't sugarcoat anything. He said it straight. According to him, there's absolutely no way Jake Paul could have built that kind of physique and maintain that level of power naturally.
I think he's taking steroids. Yeah. I do 100%. I'm willing to bet that. All the money that I have, I bet.
I've always had my suspicions, and
and dude, I'm not even sitting here being like, fuck him for that at all. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. I mean, but in combat sports,
what do you think? Do you think he is or he isn't?
I think he has for sure, but I don't know if he is currently.
Why would he not? If you know?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's looking in the mirror. He's in his bathroom. And he's like, Dylan, I'm gonna kill this. And he's like injecting his.
Coming from someone who knows exactly what a natural body looks like versus an enhanced one, Bradley's statement carried serious weight. He spent decades training athletes, studying physiques, and understanding how performance-enhancing drugs work. So when he said Jake's muscular density, recovery time, and overall endurance didn't make sense for someone who's only been boxing for a few short years, people listened.
He was telling the truth. It was genuine. Not like Jake. When Jake's asked about roids, Woodley, I don't know. Have you seen it? And plus, Jake's head grew as much as mine did after roids. The pimples and Jake.
I don't care. Regardless, I'm
Jake
curious.
aged like 10 years in a year. But get off the Anadrol, bro. Anadrol's destroying.
So you think Logan didn't take gear?
So when you put all those voices together, Floyd Mayweather, Dana White, John Fury, Bradley Martin, and now even the experts on Stephen A. Smith Show, it's hard to ignore the pattern that's forming. These aren't random critics or jealous rivals. They're people who spent their lives around real fighters, real training camps, and real testing systems.
Or to ask Logan, what the fuck is your brother doing in the underworld, in a basement? You know what I'm saying now. You know what I'm saying? His younger brother, Jake Paul, enters, and I've done that before, but not a breathing exercise with a psychic team that costs $1 million. He goes into a basement to enter a non-ordinary, psychic, Freemasonic-like psychic state.
You talking about the breathing?
You've seen.
But here's where things get even wilder. Gervonta Tank Davis saw this coming long before anyone else did. For months, Tank's been calling Jake out, warning him not to play dirty with the sport. He's one of the few fighters who spoke up early, saying that Jake's rise didn't look natural and that the truth would eventually come out. But here's where things get even wilder. Gervonta Tank Davis saw this coming long before anyone else did. For months.
How was training for something like this? Obviously, smaller guy. How was this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm going to beat your ass and I'm going to beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm going to beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He know. He laughing.
What are you talking about?
What
does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you and him back.
Now that these steroid allegations have come to light, it feels like Tank's words weren't just talk. They were a warning that's turning out to be true. He's deep in training, locked in, and fully focused on one of the biggest fights of his entire career. But this latest news has done more than just grab his attention. It's fueled him. It's like someone flipped a switch inside him. Every punch he throws now carries extra meaning. Every round in the gym feels personal. He's not just training to win anymore. He's training to prove a point, to show the world that real fighters don't need shortcuts.
Bro, that's a fucking disgrace of a fight. Yeah. You know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But yeah, he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Yeah. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter. Yeah. Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small. Yeah. So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Because here's the truth. This fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis was stirring controversy long before these steroid rumors even surfaced. From the very beginning, fans were questioning whether this matchup was fair. The size and weight difference between the two fighters had people talking nonstop. Jake is naturally the bigger man, and Tank, despite his power, is stepping into unfamiliar territory. Many wondered if this fight was about skill and legacy, or just about creating headlines and cashing in on hype.
He should beat Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
But you don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. You think that
shouldn't.
You think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro.
That's
what I'm saying.
Jake Paul,
he's a little man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment and walking forward, then look, there's a weight advantage.
Jake usually walks around close to 200 pounds, while Tank has spent his whole career dominating the lightweight division. That's a huge difference. We're talking about two fighters from completely different weight worlds. Fans have been saying it from day one. Even without any steroids or extra help, Jake already had the upper hand just because of his size and power. So when these new allegations came out, it only made things worse. It's no longer just about who's stronger or faster. It's about trust. And right now, that bridge of trust between Jake and the boxing world might already be burned beyond repair.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis.
Who do you got?
Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he can beat me.
So if these reports about PEDs turn out to be true, it changes everything. It means Tank isn't just stepping into a fight. He's walking straight into a setup where his opponent holds every unfair advantage imaginable. Jake's already got the size, the strength, and the weight on his side. But if he's also been using chemical boosters to enhance a performance, that's crossing the line completely. It's not just unfair, it's dangerous. That's exactly why so many fighters, trainers, and boxing legends are speaking out in anger. They know how much work, sacrifice, and pain goes into preparing for a fight the right way. Seeing someone try to cheat that grind, that's the kind of thing that makes the entire sport furious.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
This whole situation isn't just about Jake Paul possibly cheating the system. It's about something much bigger. It's about disrespecting the very foundation of boxing. This sport was built on blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Every great fighter who's ever stepped into the ring earned their respect through hard work, not shortcuts. When you bring steroids into the picture, it destroys that balance. It takes away the honesty of the fight, the spirit of competition, and turns it into a spectacle. Something fake, something closer to a circus than a sport. And that's what true boxing fans can't stand.
Bro, that's a fucking disgrace of a fight. Yeah. You know it. Just like the Mike Tyson low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter. Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small. So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Even some of the legends who once stood behind Jake Paul are now starting to change their tone. Floyd Mayweather himself once said Jake was good for boxing because he brought attention, new fans, and fresh energy to the sport. But after these PED allegations, those words don't hit the same anymore. If Jake's rise was fueled by performance enhancers, then everything people celebrate about him, the knockouts, the viral moments, the so-called boxing revival, starts to look fake. Every punch he landed, every victory he claimed, now comes with a question mark. Fans and fighters alike are starting to wonder if Jake was ever really competing fairly, or if he's just been playing the system from the very beginning.
Convinced that Jake is on PEDs, or he says you look like you're on stuff. And Jake says, all right, well, VADA's here today, we'll see. But if they are doing VADA testing for this, then we'll know. We'll know if Jake gets hit with something. And if they've been doing VADA testing since camp started, we'll know. If that were to happen under VADA, that would be a huge story.
When someone like Jake Paul tests positive, it sends a completely wrong message to everyone watching, especially to young fighters who dream of making it big one day. It tells them that you don't have to put in the years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice. You can just skip the grind, skip the fundamentals, and find a shortcut to success. And that's exactly what makes the situation so frustrating for real boxing veterans like Oscar de la Hoya and Dana White. They've lived...
Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just
fucking sick.
I mean, yeah, no, but dude,
Did
Jake.
you ever watch his highlights?
Jake can crack,
nasty,
man.
He's so sick.
He's
I love
nasty.
that guy.